Hello everyone and welcome back to Deciphering Weather. In today's video, we are watching the Atlantic start to wake up as we approach the peak of hurricane season with the month of September knocking on the door in a couple of days, and we are tracking the models for possible tropical development throughout the Atlantic basin. If you like detailed weather breakdowns, hit the subscribe button and notification bell to get all of my upcoming videos. So we're looking at the latest satellite image of the Atlantic Basin thanks to tropicaltidbits.com for Friday, August 30th, 2024. Thank you for waiting for this video. I've been on vacation the last few days with my family. Before that, I was busy with work trying to get ready to go on vacation, so I'm sorry I haven't uploaded since August 19th, but I am back. But also school starts next week, so my videos may become a little bit more infrequent or even have to shift to the morning to accommodate my girls' school schedule. So let's get into it. The black arrow is disturbance 1, purple arrow is disturbance 2, and then we have an area up in the North Atlantic by our red arrows that could form into a potential subtropical storm. I'll show you that on the videos. And then the orange cluster right over the Bahamas is actually an upper level low, not anything too concerned with right now. So here is the vorticity map. It's like taking an X-ray of the atmosphere. The red boxes on the bottom right, those are our two tropical waves of disturbance 1 and 2 from left to right. And then the box up north of Bermuda, that is a stretched out cold front, which could potentially break off and become something subtropical, and I'll show you that on the models. And here's the 200 millibar level off the coast of Florida where we have those thunderstorms over the Bahamas. We can see where those are being formed from this upper level system. So here is a close-up satellite view of disturbance 1. Nothing too particularly organized at the moment, but we are starting to see the signs at the low levels of some spin trying to form, some outflow at the upper levels is trying to spray out from the top of this storm. It's got a 0% chance over the next 2 days, but up to a 40% chance through the Caribbean over the next 7 days, according to the National Hurricane Center. Then further out east by the Cabo Verde Islands, we have disturbance 2. You can see the low-level spin with this one trying to get organized at the moment as well, but nothing too alarming at the moment. It also has a 0% chance over the next 2 days and a smaller 20% chance over the next 7 days out in the middle of the main development region. So let's use the GFS model to see how these two systems could develop over the next 7 days. Again, the black hexagon is disturbance 1, purple is disturbance 2. Upper levels of the atmosphere, we can see why disturbance 1 has a higher 40% chance. You can see how it's got that sprawling upper level ridge overhead, which is allowing for the proper exhaust of any thunderstorm activity. And then we have a developing one over our purple disturbance, but we don't see it. It's flowing to the northwest, but nothing to the southwest. So we don't see anything fully symmetrical like we do with disturbance 1, which is why it has a lower percentage chance of developing. Both have low wind shear environments, so it's going to protect it from the Saharan air layer just to its north, where all of our moisture is around our storms. So when we move this to 2 days from now, to Sunday, September 1st, wow, September already, you can see our two waves have progressed further westward, but no development yet, as indicated by the National Hurricane Center, 0% chance. But look in the North Atlantic. We have just south of Atlantic Canada, we have that concentrated ball of vorticity, potentially something subtropical in nature. I say subtropical because if you look at the upper levels of the atmosphere, it's part of an upper level trough. When you want a tropical system to form, you want an upper level ridge overhead. Upper level low overhead will be something subtropical. Colder air aloft will support thunderstorm activity, and that ball of vorticity at the lower levels of the atmosphere suggests a warm core. So potentially, if it can break away from the cold front, we could see this be a subtropical system. Very small chance of that happening. It's not even being mentioned by the National Hurricane Center just yet. Wind shear environment still very low where our tropical waves are and potentially near our subtropical system. And you can see that ball of moisture right in the North Atlantic where that subtropical system potentially could be, and all the moisture throughout the Caribbean from the African coastline through the main development region into the Caribbean and up to the Gulf of Mexico. So plenty of moisture to feed those tropical waves as they continue to converse westward, eroding away at our Saharan air layer as we approach the peak of hurricane season. So let's go to day 5. This would be on Wednesday, September 4th, and we see our potential subtropical systems already out of here. Our black disturbance 1 is moving through the Caribbean, right smack in the middle of it at the moment, but no signs of development just yet. And then we have our main development region disturbance 2 moving very slowly, almost negligible movement of this system on the GFS model. It's going to move a little bit quicker on the European, which I'll show you in a little bit. But you can see it's trying to tighten up that vorticity. Both systems are around 1,010 to 1,012 millibar low pressure system, but now you can see disturbance 2 starting to get more of that outflow like we see today on disturbance 1. We lose it on disturbance 1 as it encounters some wind shear in the Eastern Caribbean, but it'll get into a more favorable environment in the Western Caribbean. And the main development region looks more favorable for disturbance 2 5 days from now. So we'll see if they flip-flop on both of those systems being more or less developmentally possible. You can see the moisture bubbles being protected from that low wind shear environment. So by the time we get to a week from now on Friday, September 6th, you can see both systems potentially could become tropical storms at this point, just south of Jamaica for disturbance 1 and in the middle of the main development region for disturbance 2 in purple. New Bermuda Azores High would be forming potentially to keep this storm in the low levels of the main development region. If it doesn't, it could scoot out to sea and be a fifth storm, while the disturbance 1, obviously being closer to land, would potentially hit someone if it was to develop. So we have to keep an eye on that system, but we'll keep an eye on both, especially if that Bermuda Azores High tries to develop. Now this is just one model, one potential run of what could happen. Let's look at the European. So here's the start of the European model for today. You can see the positions of both disturbance 1 and 2. We put this into motion, and you can see how disturbance 1 is going to take a similar path, but disturbance 2, where it barely moved on the GFS model, does move a lot quicker on the European model, and another wave behind it actually tries to form too. So if you see, if we stop it here on day 7, we have not much signs of forming, no tight balls of vorticity, just broad areas of circulation. But we have disturbance 1 right near the northeast coast of Honduras versus off the southwest coast of Jamaica. Disturbance 2 has made its way towards the Lesser Antilles Islands instead of being in the position of where our next tropical wave would be on the GFS model. It's like a flip-flop, where you see our third tropical wave on the European model is only where disturbance 2 is located. So we have to see how that plays out. That's a big discrepancy in positioning of the systems with another tropical wave potentially developing. You can see that on the ensemble models as well, where the European shows 4 potential systems with 3 tropical waves and a potential subtropical. GFS ensemble model is saying 2 tropical waves and a potential subtropical. So we'll keep an eye on all of those just in case. So disturbance 1 right now has a 40% chance of developing as it continues westward towards the Caribbean. Disturbance 2 right now has a 20% chance of developing, and it has a wide range of variability of position. If it's slow moving, it could be still in the main development region. If it's a little bit faster moving, like the European model suggests, it could be even closer to the Caribbean islands than I'm showing right now. And we'll keep an eye on a potential subtropical storm potentially forming as well. Next name on the list would be Francine if any of these systems do develop. As a reminder, we have super thanks available on Deciphering Weather, so if you'd like to donate to the channel, please head down to the heart button where it says thanks. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, please hit the like button and leave a comment. Please share this video with your family and friends on social media. And if you do want to like detailed weather breakdowns, hit the subscribe button and notification bell to get all of my upcoming videos. Thank you and have a great day.